Well, thank you again, everybody, for joining us and taking a little time out of your day to learn about different senior living options and what kind of it looks like to retire in a community setting. So my name is Jessica Johnson. I'm the sales manager over at Maple Suites Independent Living. I brought along one of our resident ambassadors, Norma. So Norma's been living at Maple Suites for 3 years, and she actually came from a continuing care community. So I figured at the end, we'll have her speak a little bit about what she's seen in both and answer questions at the end. Good. So we're gonna go off this first paper, which will kind of guide us through all of the different types of senior living options. So independent living is going to be the most independent option that you have. That is what Maple Suites is. The whole building is independent. There is no nursing staff on site. So with independent living, you can save a lot of money because you're not paying for a nurse. A lot of times you will go to an assisted living and you can be independent, but there is still 24/7 care there. So you are, hi, how are you? Oh, sorry. No, you're okay. So there is still gonna be care there, even though you're not using it when you first join. So the prices are gonna be a little bit higher, but that is exactly what some people need at the time. So starting with independent living, I'll tell you a little bit about Maple Suites. We're a 116 apartment building. It's one building. We are built into the hills, so there is no stair requirement. We provide 3 meals per day, housekeeping once a week, all of your utilities, transportation, and activities. So in the price of your rent, you get all of that. So this is a great option if you're living in a big house or you've been renting for a long time, you no longer want to cook or clean or take care of the lawn. This is a great way to still have your independence in your own private apartment, but not have to take care of all of those household chores. Okay, so that's independent living. And like I was saying, if you're looking in Virginia, start looking for independent living if that's what you want. You know, you have a personal mailbox, you have your own lock and key for your apartment, you can have your car there, you can come and go as you please. There's no nurses doing assessments, so your care is really up to you. And when you hire care is also up to you. So this gives you a lot of authority onto when your care is needed and who you want to hire. So part of my role at Maple Suites is also to find the community, partners that I can use. So if someone needs a caregiver, a nurse, all the way up to hospice care, they can hire that right to their apartment. So you can still age in place very gracefully in independent living. You just get to say, and you and your family would go about finding who you want to use as a provider. Which gives you the option to, hello, no, you're okay. Yeah, there's a few chairs over there. So this option gives you the option to shop around for pricing, availability, and if you don't like a nurse, you can fire them and hire somebody different. So independent living gives you those options. Next up is going to be assisted and supportive living. So assisted living, I'm sure you've heard of. It's been around, for a long time. It's going to be where there's nurses, usually a provider on site. So like I said, there's different levels to this care. So many times people will move into an assisted living as an independent person. The nursing staff will do an assessment every so often, and they will help determine when more care is needed, which in turn will provide you the care and a higher price for your rent. So that's just kind of how assisted living works. There's somebody there. This is a great option for a lot of people. So it's good to know it's there, and you always have nursing staff on site. If something happens, you just ring your call bell, they come right to you. Whereas in independent living, there's no one there, so you ring your call bell, you still do get one, at least at Maple Suites. You ring that and the ambulance would come. They would either help you up, take your vitals, make sure everything's okay and let you stay, or if you were sick or you'd fallen and hurt yourself, they would take you to the hospital. So that's the difference in how your care is going to be. Memory care is exactly what it sounds like, right? So these are typically locked units. If you've ever toured a memory care unit, you usually cannot get in or out without a staff member there to buzz you in and out. So this is a great option when you are way down the road with Alzheimer's or dementia, and you really need to be in a safe space where you're not going to be wandering or anything like that. Now, assisted living and independent, you can absolutely live in those two types of senior living with memory impairment. That is normal. It happens with aging. We at Maple Suites have many people with early onset Alzheimer's. It's okay as long as you're safe. right? So that's the key to all of this. Residential care homes are traditionally private homes adopted to offering care services to a small group of residents, no more than 15, and this can be short-term or long-term care available. So sometimes that's going to be just exactly what it says, a smaller private home. They'll usually have wait lists for those. They may cost a little bit more because it's going to be more private in a smaller community. Skilled nursing, so these are going to be like your rehabs, your 24-hour medical care. This is where you really, skilled nursing or nursing homes have been around for a really long time. So typically, if you have a fall and they send you to rehab, their goal is to get you back home or into a safe space. We have had lots of people move into Maple Suites after a fall because they don't want to go home. They don't want to do the stairs or have to take care of their, the everyday yard work and household work and risk a fall again. So normally you're not staying in skilled nursing for very long. That would at least be the goal, is to get you rehabilitated and back to either your home or one of these other communities. Short-term respite stays or retreat stays, exactly what it sounds like. So sometimes this is straight out of the rehab. We offer respite stays at Maple Suites. So if you ever need a 30-day stay in a furnished apartment, in a safe space with no stairs, food included, that would be your respite stay. Intended for short-term stay. Sometimes people love the community and then they end up moving in, but it's available for short-term stays. You can also find these in short-term respite or retreat stays. So if you needed something, let's say you're in a rehab, usually your social worker discharge planner will work with you and your family to find you a respite stay so that you can be somewhere and not have to go home and worry about risking another fall or injury. Again, we do offer that short-term stay. Continuing care retirement. So these are your CCRCs. These are your long-term plan. This is going to be people who have the money up front to have a buy-in. CCRCs typically do have a buy-in fee, and then you're living there long-term because you're going to have continuing care. So it's almost a combination of the independent assisted living stay. Nurses are there 24/7. You have a care group there. So you don't have to worry about who you're going to hire, when you're going to hire it. That's all done for you, just at a little bit of a bigger budget. So those are really the different types of care. Over on the right-hand side, you can see what you have more or less of for each of these care units. So it's really good to know what's out there and what these differences are. Many of you may have toured already, or you're starting to think about touring communities. It's a great idea to do it before you need to, because then you know what's out there and nope, I already toured this place, not for me. I toured this place, I want to go back, we're almost ready. So just getting a feel of what's out there is a very good idea. In Dover itself, we have lots of communities. Independent living, there's not as many, but we are one. We're right off of Back River Road, down the road, 5 minutes. And there's a few others. I know St. Anne's has Bishop Dendron, which is attached. That's also an independent living community. So do your shopping, look around, start touring, ask for a free meal, go for a lunch, check out the residents, have fun with it, really, because that's what it's all about. You're shopping for your next home. So you want to know what it's going to feel like to live there. Any questions so far?
What about staying in your home and having care? Is there overview, someone who takes care of that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So some people do want to do that. They want to stay in their home and age in place there. You can hire care. There's different companies that you can hire. I'm more than happy to help with that search as well. So like I was saying earlier, part of my job is to find all of these different companies that do home care, because at Maple Suites, we don't provide care. So it is home care in your home, in your apartment at Maple Suites. So I can give you lots of resources as far as home care providers. There's people that will live on site with you. There's overnight nurses, there's caregivers and nurses that will just come in for specifically what you need. So there's lots of options out there, and many of them are very new. There was really only assisted living and nursing homes until 1980 when independent living started. So this is a fairly new, type of senior living option. Yeah. What other questions?
I think I know the answer, but I'll ask you.
Yeah.
Is there ever a time when insurance would cover or partially cover a short-term respite, if like that was following a surgery or something?
Sure, possibly. So with independent living, at least at Maple Suites, we are a self-pay building. So we do not accept insurance. Some assisted living communities do, some do not. And then same with respite stays. So it's gonna depend on the community that you find and what insurance you have. Yes. Yeah, same with VA benefits. So many times your VA will help you pay for housing. We have veterans at our community that are using some of their VA benefits to fund their stay at Maple Suites. So it's good to look into what you have available.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You had a question?
How does Maple Suites compare to Mass Landing? Are you familiar with Mass Landing?
Yeah, so that's more of an income-based housing. So it's going to be income-based, so they're gonna ask you different questions than we ask. Maple Suites does not get involved with finances at all. Like I said, we're self-pay, so really you come in knowing it is affordable for you. We're happy to do a budget calculator with you to see exactly what is affordable if you're not sure. And how long will that money last for, right? We wanna make sure you can age in place gracefully and not 5 years down the road, you're struggling to pay your rent. So we're happy to help with those things.
So at Maple Suites, I think I may have had a misconception about it. You can stay there. They don't kick you out, when you're not, when you need a wheelchair or something.
Exactly, yeah. We have people in wheelchairs, we have motorized scooters, we have walkers and canes, all of that is completely fine. As long as you're safe, right? So even if you have a nurse coming in every single day to check on you. We have hospice in our building for, before, I've been there for 2 years and I've seen hospice in the building a few times. So that tells you you can age in place all the way to the end. That's when your social workers and your caregivers are gonna start to come in and help take care of you. We have some people that have moved from assisted living into independent living because they had their, review with their nurse and their nurse said, we wanna put you on medication management and that's gonna raise your rent a little bit, but here's what it will look like. And they said, we don't want that. So they moved to independent living. So now they're in charge of when that medication management comes into play and who they hire for it. Which typically when you're going through any type of caregiving service, you can use your insurance for that. So this is also a great option for people who have long-term care insurance, because you want to benefit from what you've been paying for all this time. So this is a way that you can really use those benefits. Good question. What other questions?
Did you talk about meal plans at Maple Suites?
Sure, that's a great question. So we do provide meals. It's included in every rent. We don't have packages or options. It is 3 meals per day. We do have meal times 8, 12, and 5. And then we have a full snack bar, which has, sandwiches, pasta salads, fruit, and that's filled up and ready for anybody to snack whenever they want. That's how meals work. Any other questions? These are great questions.
Do you have any outdoor space?
Oh, yes. Maple Suites has a beautiful location. We're on 33 acres of land. Yeah, we have lots of walking trails. We have a courtyard that's well lit at night. We accept pets, so we have dogs and cats there, yeah. So there's nice walking trails to walk the dogs, and there's little baggy areas for them and benches around to sit and enjoy the outside area. It's very peaceful and quiet back there. Yeah.
And do you have a waiting list?
Great question. So currently we do have a wait list for 2-bed, 2-bath apartments. We have one 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment available, and we have 5 studios with private bathrooms. All of these rooms do have outdoor spaces as well. Most have a patio or a balcony.
And if your name is on the waiting list, and it rises to the top, you call and say, got a spot for you.
Well, I run my waiting list a little different. I do my waiting list first come, first serve. So I have dates on there of when people would like to find a space, so I'll try to call them first. But I call everybody on the wait list and say, 2 beds opening up in 30 days, come and see it. If you like it, we'll make it yours. This is a 90-day month-to-month lease, so you're not locked into anything. We also only require 30 days written notice to be out of your lease. So as soon as I know, I can let everybody on the wait list know. Yep.
Well, yeah, I looked into Kittery Estates.
Yeah.
Several years ago, and at that time, they had this nice perk, and I'm wondering if you still have it, where, like, if you went to Florida and you visited your friends for a week, you could borrow the
Holiday stay, yeah, holiday stay, so we no longer have that on the north. I don't know if the south still has it, I actually just was talking to one of my residents about this, and he's looking to go down to Florida to visit a friend. So I will have to check with them if they still do that down there, I know we do not, so all of our rooms are available for stay. Long term. Okay, so not
There's you
travel,
don't have them. It's open for people that come to-
no, we don't have a travel room anymore, yeah, yeah. Good question. What other questions?
Do, the apartments have cooking facilities?
Great question. So all of our apartments have kitchenettes. So they have a sink, a fridge and a freezer, cabinetry, no stove or oven. You can bring any appliance besides a hot plate. We do have a full resident kitchen on our first floor. If you come look at it, it never gets used because our meals are pretty good, so everyone's eating in the dining hall. But it is there, you know, if you want to bake a batch of cookies or make something on the stove. Yeah. And you were mentioning Kittery Estates, so that is Holiday by Atria as well. They're our sister community, so that would be the closest one near us. There's also a Holiday by Atria in Kennybunk, and that is gonna be more of a independent assisted living memory. They have continuing care there. And other questions?
Are you affiliated with, Bellamy Woods or,
Watson. Watson.
Watson Fields?
No, we are not. Nope. Are they assisted living?
I don't think so.
Sure.
We're more closer to nursing home.
Okay, yeah, so they're gonna have a higher level of care there, but we are not affiliated with them, nope. So if you see Holiday by Atria or Atria Retirement, that's gonna be this corporation. We have over 400 buildings in the US and Canada, so it's a very large corporation who has done a lot of work to figure out how to provide the best services to seniors, and they do a good job. We're filling up and our move outs are going down, which is always a really good sign. Yeah, good questions, what else? Anything else on mind about any of these types of senior living options? No, okay, so I did hand out another form, it's what is your retirement style, you don't have to do that now, but it's a great thing to kind of start thinking about, you know, if you're retired now, what do you do on a daily basis? What are activities you like to do? What do you want to make sure you can keep doing? So you somebody asked about our outdoor space. If that's important to you, when you start touring, you want to make sure that you see that space and see those walking trails. You know, if you want to make sure you have a patio or a balcony, that's a great thing to ask, or for me to put on a wait list, for instance. So those are just things to think about.
Do you offer activities throughout the week?
We do.
Keep people's minds active?
Oh, yes, yes. So Norma actually does some of our exercise classes. So when you move into Maple Suites, we want to get to know you. What do you like to do? What activities are you interested in? That way we can help guide you in the right direction to make sure you're really using our activities to the best of the ability. So we do, every day we have different things. We do bingo at 10:45. I just had a guest for that this morning, and you're welcome to come to any activities. All of our activities are free. Just come enjoy them. If you want to have lunch, we can have you in for lunch. You can try the food and sit with some residents. But our activities are full. We do a lot of arts and craft classes. Yesterday, we had a vendor fair. We had about 7 different vendors come in and did some shopping, which was really fun. We do a lot of musical performances. We have musicians come in often. Yeah, so there is just a ton of stuff. What else? Anything else?
We play a lot of games. There's different games, there's cribbage, which is one of my favorites. And that's going on here.
Pull it away.
But it's fun to play. There's other games too, and there's a game of Sparkle, I don't know if you've heard of that. It's a dice game, we play that every night after supper. There's bridge, and other kind of games that people just gather and play. And if you have a special kind of card game, we can probably find other people that would like to play it.
What about crafts?
Crafts, yes, we have we do crafts quite often. And we have people that come in and do crafts with us.
Yeah, we just had a water painting class not too long ago. We did wreath making near Christmas time, we did ornament decorating. We try to keep things like in season too. So whatever we can find, and if you know somebody out there that wants to come in and teach a class, or if you yourself are an artist and wanna teach a class, we'd love to have you, so.
How about a knitting group? Is there a knitting group?
Well,
We don't, a knitting group, not that I know of.
We don't have one right now. We did have, but after a while, the fun doesn't work anymore. So I don't do it anymore, but I did. And there are people that would like to pick it up again, probably the fall. Right now, we don't have one.
Do you shuttle people places they wanna go?
Great question, thank you, I missed that one, transportation, yes, we do, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have a bus driver there, it's a handicap accessible van that fits 12 people, I believe. Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays, you can use that to go to TJ Maxx, Hannaford's, doctor's appointments, whatever it is you need to do. We say about a 30-minute radius, but give or take, as long as you give us some notice. And on Wednesdays, we use the van for group outing. So we've gone to the Portsmouth Music Hall, we've gone out for lunch, we've gone to the Fox Run Mall and done some walking and eating. Where else have done some good outings?
We've been down to see the sculptures, down by the ocean.
Hampton?
We take rides out just to get ice cream sometimes, things like that. Different places.
Yeah.
When we go out to eat, it's a lot of fun. There's usually about 14 of us all together, and we just have a good time. We go to different restaurants around the area.
Yeah.
Is there parking for?
There is. Yeah, absolutely. So you can still have your car, you can drive, come and go. You don't have to like sign in and out at the community. You can really have your independence with that. Parking is open, first come, first serve parking.
I don't know if you can answer this or you're allowed to answer it, but what's the age range?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. So we're a 55+ community. Currently, our youngest resident is 64. Our oldest, I believe he's still there, is 104. And our average age is 85.
85?
85. Yeah, we're a very active, independent community. So Norma's been living there for what, 3 years, 3.5 years?
2.5 years I've been there.
Yeah, many people still come and go, are still driving. They just didn't want to have to take care of a house anymore, or cook and clean anymore. I don't blame them. Have a while to go, but.
And we have a full staff. And we get our rooms cleaned every week. And it's just great. I love the place myself. I intend to stay there. One thing that is so good is the 3 meals. The meals are good, very good, and you have 4 choices every damn meal. You can't go wrong. There's always something you can find.
I wanted to, ask you, Norma, the difference kind of, because you've lived at an assisted or continuing care versus an independent. And we were talking a little bit on the ride here, but if you can just tell everybody what the difference is, how long you lived in assisted living.
I first moved to New Hampshire, I'm from Maine. And I moved to New Hampshire, over 10 years ago now. I moved with my husband, and I had to find a place for him. He had Alzheimer's. So I looked at several places in this area. My daughter lives in this area. My granddaughter lives here too, and her family. And I have great grandchildren. So I had to find a place. I found a place in Durham, Brookdale. And to me, it was a wonderful place. He was in the Alzheimer's unit, I was in an independent unit on the other end of the building. So it worked out perfectly, I could see him anytime I wanted, and that was just perfect. He lived for 3 more years, and we were there, and then he passed away. I did stay on for a couple more years or so. I really enjoyed the place. I was part of the group, just like I am at Maple Streets. I'm very involved. I was involved there, and I'm more so involved here at Maple Street. And the reason I moved, it was closer to my daughter, who lives in Somersworth. I got 3 meals a day instead of 1, and it saved me $1,000 a month. So that was a big incentive to move. And I found that the staff here is fantastic. I've enjoyed every one of them. We all get along fine. The people there are very friendly at Maple Suites. They were at, Brookdale too, but it was just a different feel. Just a different feel of the place. If you're at Brookdale, the nurses, and they're at you all the time, even if you're independent. They look after you, but they're kind of, you don't have the independence like you do at Maple Suites. Maple Suites, I can come and go as I please, I don't have to ask anybody, and I can come and go. At Brookdale, I couldn't, I had to sign out all the time, and they wanted to know where I was and what I was doing. I find Maple Suites, I don't know, kind of a happier place. It was kind of sad at Brookdale, because you always have people like my husband. They're always around, and you have to be with them too. So I don't have those people there at Maple Suites. It's more of a happy place. I enjoy Maple Suites a lot, and I enjoy the staff and the people there are great.
Yeah.
You really like it. You really would.
Any questions for Norma?
I'm very busy. I also teach an exercise class. So if you have a talent like that, you're bound, show it.
Keep you busy, yeah.
We have exercise every day. Every morning.
Yeah, so that kind of gives you a good overview, somebody who's actually lived it and lived in 2 different types of communities, and there's a pros and cons to everything, as you start your search for senior living options, start to weigh out what you're really looking for. Like I said, start touring earlier than you feel you need to, so then that way when the time comes, you know what's out there, and then you can have your list available for you. So just some good things to keep in mind. Okay.
Do you need an appointment to come over?
No,
Can you just,
you can come stop by whenever you like. I prefer an appointment, 'cause I can block my schedule for you and I can show you around. But like Norma was saying, we do have a full staff right now, which is pretty amazing. So we do, we have an activities director, we have a business director, a general manager, assistant general manager, sales manager, ambassadors. We have a full kitchen staff, we have a full housekeeping staff. So that all really plays a part in the fact that if you stop in, somebody's gonna greet you and help show you around, so.
And if you come to lunch, I'll sit with you.
Yeah.
I usually do.
Yeah.
And do people that come and walk around, stay for lunch, I'll sit with you.
Yeah.
And we have a gentleman that's also an ambassador, and he will join too, if he would like.
Everyone's very friendly. I think that's a big piece of it too. Like our seating, our dining hall is beautiful. We just finished a $2.5 million renovation. So all of our buildings and most of our apartments have been renovated. It's open seating. You can have a different seat every day or find your people and sit there. But everyone, when they see a new face, wants to know who you are, where you're coming from, and just get to know you and help you make you feel at home. So it's definitely a nice place.
You mentioned that there's a kitchen, community kitchen.
Yeah.
So is that also sort of an event, space, like if you wanted to have a family gathering or party?
Definitely. So we've actually just reserved that room for a 55th birthday. So one of our residents, I think, I don't know, must have been a family member, wanted to reserve that space. So we just closed the big doors and then that can be your space. If you have a party of 6 or less, you can reserve our private dining hall and then you can all have a meal in that room catered by us.
Thanks.
Yeah, there's options there. There's lots of really nice space to be used. We do have a couple events coming up, so I put the flyers here and I'll leave them, if you want to stop in for these. These will be some fun ones happening. The Green Outdoors is tomorrow. We actually have, wildlife enthusiasts coming with live animals. So I'm gonna bring my little 9-month-old baby to that one. So that'll be a fun one, kind of like a petting zoo. And then the endless summer, we'll probably have some good food and just some entertainment. So always fun things happening at Maple Suites. But that is kind of my spiel. You had really great questions. Was there anything else that comes to mind as you're starting the search?
Well, inevitably, people are gonna be asking what the prices are.
Great question. Yeah, so pricing does change. So I can certainly give you a ballpark, or a starting rate. So typically a studio is gonna start around 2,800 with everything included. One bedroom starting around 3,200 and a 2 bedroom starting around 3,800. Now that is just a ballpark, that's a starting rate. Apartments are different. And I see some couples here. So second person fee is $759 per month. And like I said, those are starting rates, so it depends what's available at the time. Has anybody started the search yet, or is this kind of the first point?
It's the first time.
First? Curious, yes. Yeah.
Do you have a book club by chance?
Do we have a book club?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we do.
yeah, we actually rent books from here, and then they meet once a week to discuss the chapters. And that's something, even if you're not a resident and you wanna be a part of, come by, let us know, we can find out when the next book is starting, and you can be a part of that. Yes.
There's one other thing I don't think you mentioned
Yep,
was, and I don't have it on, of course, I should have worn it. We have a button that we wear, little, what do you call it?
these ones are called lively urgent bags,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's used a great deal. You press it, if you say you fell and you couldn't get up, you press that button, they'll know exactly where you are, they'll just say, what do you need? And you say, oh, I need someone to help me out, or I need an ambulance, or whatever you need, and it'll be there within your minutes.
Yeah.
They're just around the corner. And that button has helped many, many people.
Yeah.
I have a friend there that is in a wheelchair. She had a stroke, so one side of her doesn't work at all. And if she falls on the floor, she can't get up. And especially if she falls in the night, and she presses her button, and they're right there to pick her up. They pick her up, they examine her over, are you fine, and all that. If she's not, they'll take her into hospital. But usually she's just okay, she just fell. They pick her up, get her back on the bed, and
And management does get alerted when those buttons are pressed, so if somebody's fallen and they're waiting, we can run up to the room and just wait with you. We're not, we're not able to help lift you up, so we do have to wait for the ambulance to get there, but at least you're not alone and people know where you are. Staff is there from 7 AM to 7 PM. Outside of those hours, it is a locked, secure building, so the only way you can get in and out is if you're an emergency personnel or you have one of our key cards, which only residents and then some family members have.
So there's no one there overnight?
Correct. Yeah, we did just hire a porter, so he's awesome. He's there until 11 PM at night, Monday to Friday. So outside of those hours, it's independent living. Yeah.
Oh, is there a community fee?
There is a community fee. It's typically the price of 1 month's rent. Every month we have different incentives happening. So those are great questions to ask when you're touring. Is there a community fee? Is there any incentives that we can ask about? That way you can see what kind of money you can save as well.
How about the size of the various apartments?
Sure. So, the smallest apartment I have is 433 square feet. That's a studio. Our 1 bedrooms start at 549 square feet, and then our 1 bedrooms start around 900 and go all the way up to 1,077 square feet. Or sorry, 2 bedrooms. Yeah, 2 beds are 1,077. And those have 2 bed, 2 bath. So one has a bathtub, one has a walk-in shower. All of the studios in the 1 bedrooms will have a private bathroom with a walk-in shower. Any other questions?
I find the 1 bedroom is what I have. And I find it plenty big enough for me and my cat.
Yeah, I love that we've got pets because you can't leave them home.
How about storage? Do you have little storage areas and all?
We don't have extra storage areas. Many people do downsize when they come. And I have references and resources for that as well, because I know that's a huge feat to have to overcome by yourself. So there are companies out there that can come and really help with that process. Most of the rooms do have one big, large, long closet in the living room area. That's a great place to store your seasonal things. And then most of the bedrooms all have 2 closets right before your bathroom, so the layout's pretty good, it does have some good space. No extra storage though.
And they're furnished.
They're not, they're empty units, so you can bring your furniture. Yeah, make this like home, hang your curtains, hang your pictures, you know, bring as much as you can, keeping it safe. So yeah, they're unfurnished. We do offer the respite stay, like I said, which is a furnished unit, and you wouldn't wanna move stuff for 30 days and have to move back. So that room is furnished, but for the most part, we encourage people to bring their own furniture and really make it your own.
How many levels?
Like levels, yeah, so 3 floors, we do have an elevator in the building, and then we are built into the hills. So on each floor, you can get right outside to the ground, so during an emergency exit, you would exit from your floor. So you never have to take stairs.
Sounds really good.
It's a beautiful building, yeah, I highly suggest everyone stop by for lunch, stop by, check it out, drive by the community.
When was
Very
it built?
It was built 16 years ago, so 2008 it was
Not that
built.
old, and then you just have a renovation.
Yeah, it's lovely. They have all brand new furniture, new carpets, new paint, everything is fresh.
So it's air conditioned?
It is, so every unit has a split unit, so you have a personal AC heat that is included in your rent, all of your utilities and your cable is included in your rent. So when I say you really just have a rent bill, unless you want your own Wi-Fi box, or your landline, everything's included. And maintenance is included as well. So we have Dan is our maintenance guy. He's amazing. If a light bulb goes out, the AC stops working, the fridge, the toilet, anything goes wrong, you fill out a maintenance slip and he'll be up to fix it.
Within a few minutes.
Yeah,
He's very quick.
crazy quick.
He fixes things fast.
Yeah, specific questions. Anything else? Keep in mind?
Is alcohol served at meals?
So it's BYOB, so we cannot serve, but you can bring down your bottle of wine. We have happy hour every Wednesday at 3 o'clock, mark your calendars. Come for happy hour. Everybody brings their bottle of wine or their Yeti cups, and we make snacks for it from the kitchen, so it's a fun time. Yeah. Anything? Was this helpful?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Okay, great, thank you.